A tempest brewed within me as his fingers grazed the tender skin of my thigh, a moment suspended in time, yet I stood frozen, paralyzed by a choice unmade. I simply surrendered to the darkness, shutting my eyes against the world. And then he uttered those fateful words, a plea laced with desperation, "I just don't want you to hurt anymore." It appears innocuous, doesn't it? Yet, that singular phrase pierced through the layers of my soul, awakening a long dormant ache I had concealed for an eternity. From that fateful moment onward, I realized I had transformed into someone entirely different, a shadow of my former self. If you have ever stifled the tempest of your emotions, shackled by the chains of morality, then I implore you, remain by my side. This tale transcends mere guilt. It revolves around the haunting truths that linger in the shadows, too terrifying to be spoken aloud. And if this tale ignites a fire within your soul, do not let the moment slip away. Press that subscribe button and join the journey. There is so much more that I must unveil. So much more awaits. They proclaimed it a miracle that I emerged from the depths, defying all odds. 3 years ago, a monstrous semi-truck collided with the passenger side of my car, sending it spiraling through the air, flipping 3 times in a chaotic dance of destruction. When consciousness returned to me 2 weeks later, I found myself imprisoned by rods in my legs, screws anchoring my hips, and an agony that carved itself into every fiber of my being. The doctors proclaimed that the outcome could have been far more dire. "Fortune smiles upon you," they proclaimed. Fortune has smiled upon me, granting me the breath of life once more. Yet, when the sensation in your legs fades into oblivion and the mere act of sitting up in bed demands the strength of another, the notion of being lucky transforms into a haunting bitterness. I lost more than mere movement, I lost a part of my very essence. I stand here, a mere shadow of the woman I once was, lost in the echoes of what used to be. The dawn breaks, yet an eerie hush blankets the world. My body has become an unfamiliar specter, a haunting presence that I no longer recognize. What haunting reflection stares back at me from the depths of the mirror? A visage unknown, shrouded in mystery. I transformed into a figure of pity, a shadow of my former self, evoking sympathy in the hearts of those around me. In the dimly lit aisles of the grocery store, hushed voices carried her name like a haunting melody, weaving tales of intrigue and mystery that danced through the air. Once, she radiated with an exuberance that could light up the darkest of days. No soul should ever endure such a haunting void of silence. At long last, he stepped through the threshold of his home. Alas, it looms before me, even grander than the memories etched in my mind. Unleashed with an intensity that commands the very essence of strength, he stands on the precipice of change, no longer the innocent boy he once was. He swept through the house, a shadow of assurance cloaked in silence. His voice fell to a whisper, hands unwavering as he effortlessly hoisted me from my chair. Amidst the numbing embrace of painkillers and the chilling touch of cold sheets, a tempest began to awaken deep within me. Not merely attended to, but profoundly acknowledged. Transformed, understood. It was never my desire. Never in my wildest dreams did I foresee such a twist of fate. In the most unforeseen corners of existence, the whispers of healing emerge, shattering the silence of despair. At the tender age of 17, I sealed my fate with a signature, binding my destiny as his mother forevermore. It was destined to crumble from the very beginning. They branded it a fleeting sanctuary, a mere pause in the storm, until his true family could reclaim him from the chaos. Months raced past, morphing into years, and by the time he reached the age of 5, the haunting silence echoed around him, for no one ever came to claim him. On the cusp of adulthood, I nurtured him with care, bathing him in warmth and feeding his imagination, as I breathed life into bedtime tales with a symphony of voices and sound effects that danced in the shadows of the night. He uttered the word "Mom" before I was prepared to bear the profound gravity it carried. Yet, as the days turned into years, an undeniable sense of belonging enveloped us, as if it had woven itself into the very fabric of our existence, claiming its rightful place in our hearts. Here I stand, in the tumultuous realm of my mid-40s, where time weaves its intricate tapestry of experiences and revelations. Life possesses an uncanny ability to shatter the very foundations of the roles you once thought were unchangeable. In the wake of the tragic incident, I was compelled to bid farewell to my beloved position at the community library. Alas, I found myself powerless to take the wheel. The stairs loomed before me, an insurmountable challenge I could not conquer. My body betrayed me in the most intimate of moments, as I struggled to wash my hair, to don my clothes, to perform the simplest act of using the toilet. Humbling merely grazes the edge of the profound depths that lie beneath. He leaped back in, driven by an impulse that brooked no hesitation. It was merely a fleeting promise, a glimmer of hope, yet deep down, we both understood the bitter truth: I would never rise again. Alas, our snug Vermont abode lies at the terminus of a dim, icy lane, seldom graced by the fleeting touch of winter's sun. The heater persists in its relentless clicking, a haunting symphony that echoes through the silence. The windows fog over, shrouded in a veil of mystery. On most days, the sky hangs heavy and gray, resembling the murky depths of dishwater, devoid of life and color. On certain nights, the wind wails with a haunting ferocity, transforming the house into a vessel of sorrow, as if it were lamenting its own despair. Alone in this moment, it's just the two of us, standing on the precipice of everything. He is the master of all trades, navigating the aisles of the grocery store with precision, conjuring mouth-watering feasts from mere ingredients, and orchestrating my every move from the sanctuary of slumber to the soothing embrace of the bath and back again. He weaves humor into the fabric of our days, coaxing laughter from the depths of my soul, while vigilantly reminding me to take my medicine, a guardian of my well-being. He has never, not even for a fleeting moment, allowed me to feel like a weight upon his shoulders. Yet, the shadows of doubt linger, whispering that I am indeed one. A haunting solitude descends when your body transforms into a stranger, a vessel no longer under your command. A tranquil soul, yet fiercely passionate. It feels as though the very fabric of existence unraveled the moment you were no longer deemed valuable, casting you into the abyss of oblivion. Once, I stood in the dazzling spotlight, where dreams shimmered and shadows danced around me. Once, I was the center of attention, a beacon of desire. Now, the reflection that gazes back at me from the mirror is a stranger, cast aside like any other evening that has slipped into the shadows. On the couch, my legs writhed in agony, the icy tendrils of cold burrowing mercilessly into my very bones. He sank to his knees beside me, the fabric of my sweatpants pulled up to reveal my skin, as his warm, calloused hands made contact, igniting a spark that sent shivers coursing through me. Once again, ensnared in this suffocating predicament? He whispered, plunging into the taut sinews with an intensity that electrified the air. I nodded, battling the tempest within me as I tried to ignore the way his fingers danced, strong yet tender, igniting a fire I dared not acknowledge. His touch was a force that altered the very fabric of reality. It soothed the agony in a way that the pills could never hope to achieve. Yet, in this moment, it resonated with an intensity that was unmistakably unique. His thumb ascended, a mere inch or perhaps even less, as if the very air around him held its breath in anticipation. That single inch transformed the very fabric of fate. The pad of his thumb brushed against the tender crease where thigh meets hip, a haunting intersection of pain and shame, entwined in a silent struggle. My breath seized in my chest, and so did his, a moment suspended in time. We remained frozen in place, enveloped in an oppressive silence. The atmosphere was thick with tension, each breath a reminder of the impending storm, as if the very walls were poised, trembling with the weight of our unspoken decisions. "Forgive me," he murmured, wrenching his hand from mine, the lingering heat scorching my skin as if marked by fire. "No," I gasped, my heart racing and words tumbling out in a frantic rush. All was well, yet his eyes suddenly darted up to meet mine, filled with uncertainty. He nodded, then with a sudden, electrifying motion, yanked my pant leg down, his fingers brushing against my calf in a way that sent shivers racing through my body. "You're fine," he breathed, his voice a fragile thread in the heavy silence. It was a declaration that echoed through the silence, reverberating with undeniable weight. I offered a subtle nod, a mere whisper of agreement in the silence that enveloped us. I was not okay. A tempest of transformation surged forth, breaking free, splintering the very fabric of existence. The silence returned, yet it bore a weight unlike any before, pressing down with an intensity that was almost suffocating. More profound, a shiver coursed through me, igniting a fire in my chest, where his thumb had dared to wander beyond the boundaries of propriety. After an eternity lost in shadows, I finally turned my gaze toward the shimmering possibilities that lay before me. In the depths of my soul, I found myself wrestling with the shadows of my unfulfilled yearnings. That fateful night altered the very fabric of our connection forever. His fingers brushed against my skin, a haunting echo of the past, tender yet electric, igniting a storm of emotions within me. Yet now, my skin remembers each heartbeat, each fleeting touch, as if the very essence of time has etched its memories upon me. Every brush of his hand lingered in my mind, haunting me with its intensity. A revelation unfolded before my eyes, unveiling a world of wonders I had long overlooked. The fierce line of his jaw, taut with concentration, cut through the air like a blade. His gaze would melt like wax, each time it held on to me, revealing a depth of emotion that threatened to consume us both. He gazed, stretching forth into realms uncharted, surpassing all that had come before. In the shadows of our encounters, there were fleeting instants when he dared to think I was oblivious to his every move. One fateful morning, he lifted me from the depths of slumber, just as he had countless times before, his arms enveloping my back with a tenderness that was both protective and reverent. As I leaned in, his hand brushed against mine, a fleeting caress, and in that suspended moment, we lingered, caught in the electric tension of possibility. In that fleeting moment, it was as if the universe held its breath, a mere heartbeat suspended in time, vanishing into the abyss of oblivion. A surge of tension coursed through me as I sensed it. His fingers, once taut with anticipation, slowly surrendered to a haunting calm. My heart thundered in my chest. We bypassed the conversation, leaving unspoken words hanging in the air like a heavy fog. It was a shadow that lingered between us, an unspoken truth that we dared not confront. I writhed in restless turmoil throughout the dark hours of the night. My legs screamed in agony. Perhaps it was a force that transcended mere muscle, a profound essence lurking beneath the surface. In the stillness of the night, I lay in bed, my gaze fixed upon the ceiling, surrendering to the haunting whispers of the house's soft hum. In an instant, the door groaned open, shattering the silence like a thunderclap in the stillness of the night. Your light flickered defiantly in the darkness, he whispered, lingering in the doorway, his hair tousled and eyes weighed down by the shadows of slumber. Rest eluded me, I murmured in the shadows. He burst into the room, unbidden, and with an air of audacity, he sank onto the edge of the bed beside me. Shall I linger in the shadows, waiting for the moment you find your strength? I inclined my head in solemn accord. He languished against the headboard, a figure of quiet despair. His long legs stretched out beside mine, a striking contrast that ignited a tension in the air, palpable and electric. I turned onto my side, my gaze piercing through the shadows, fixated on him. His eyelids fluttered like the wings of a trapped bird, caught in the throes of an unseen tempest. His chest heaved and sighed, a rhythmic dance of tranquility amidst the storm. In a fleeting moment, he succumbed to the silence, his body a vessel of warmth, yet utterly still. It was never my desire to lay a finger upon him. With a sudden surge of urgency, my hand lunged forward, brushing aside the hair that clung to his forehead, sweeping down across his temple, and trailing to the nape of his neck. My fingers hovered at the nape of his neck, where the skin was tender and the hair cascaded in perfect curls, igniting a tempest of emotions within me. I inhaled deeply, as if summoning the very essence of life itself. In a fleeting moment, the very fabric of time appeared to freeze, suspended in a breathless silence. I relentlessly persuaded myself that it was merely a fleeting shadow, a whisper of doubt that would soon fade into oblivion. A hand heavy with fatigue, a moment suspended in time, a mother cradling her precious child in a tender embrace. The deception faltered, its strength diminishing with each breath that spoke it into existence. He remained silent about that fateful night, never daring to inquire how my trembling hand had woven itself into the depths of his hair. I hovered at the nape of his neck, etching every exquisite detail into the depths of my memory. But then his gaze transformed, becoming tender and languid, as if he were witnessing something fragile, poised on the brink of shattering, and by the heavens, a tempest raged within me, tearing apart the very fabric of my soul. With each caress, whether it was the gentle draping of a blanket, the tender assistance from the bath, or the delicate sweep of a stray hair from my face, an electric pulse surged through me. The searing heat embraced the searing intensity. My body had become a battleground, unable to distinguish the soft whispers of tenderness from the relentless cries of hunger. In the depths of my soul, I felt the weight of a grave error looming over me. I held that thought close, a constant whisper in the shadows of my mind. My gaze was irresistibly drawn to his forearms, each time he hoisted an object, as if they held a magnetic allure that captivated my very soul. Each time he crossed the threshold from the biting cold, his shirt clung to him like a desperate lover, a reminder of the chill that sought to envelop him. Each time he smiled, it was as if the very air was stolen from my lungs, leaving me utterly captivated. Reason stumbled in its slow march, while the thrill of feeling raced ahead, leaving it in the dust. We shrouded it in silence. Alas, that is not the case. Yet, in the midst of the unfolding tale, there lingered moments of silence, heavy and profound. Prolonged renditions. And flair. As he extended his hand towards the cup, fate intervened, and my fingers brushed against his, a moment suspended in time. His fingers grazed my skin, a fleeting touch that held the weight of eternity. The kitchen lay shrouded in a thick, oppressive silence after dinner, a weight that pressed down on every soul present. We twirled and spun, oblivious to the shadows that loomed ever closer, as if the very air we breathed was thick with the weight of what we dared not acknowledge. I reached for the fragile thread of normalcy, meticulously folding laundry as if each crease held the weight of my hopes, engaging in mundane conversations about the weather, probing into the depths of his day, seeking solace in the ordinary amidst the chaos that loomed around us. It was as if I were a mere pawn in a grand narrative, playing a role in a tale not my own. I found myself standing on the precipice, consumed by the darkness, yearning for an escape from the relentless storm within. Little did I know the depths of my ignorance. A fragment of my soul, entombed beneath the weight of countless years steeped in silence and sacrifice, yearned to resist the very notion of an end. On that fateful Thursday, everything changed forever. As I nestled into the depths of the couch, the blanket enveloped my legs like a protective shroud. I became entranced by the relentless dance of rain cascading down the windows, each drop a fleeting moment in a tempestuous symphony. He stormed in from the tempest, soaked to the bone, his t-shirt clinging desperately to his chest, a testament to the fury of the storm outside. His hair, heavy with the weight of moisture, clung to his forehead like a shroud of despair. His hands were battered and bruised, ravaged by the merciless grip of the biting cold. "Text you good?" he inquired, the sound of his boots hitting the floor echoing like a thunderclap in the stillness of the room. "It was nothing but a chilling breath," I murmured into the void. In an instant, he disappeared into the shadows, only to return, a dry towel in hand, enveloping my shoulders with a warmth that felt like a lifeline in the storm. He descended with a heavy thud beside me, as if the weight of the world had just landed in my space. On the brink of something profound, drawing closer in a way that ignites the very essence of connection. Silence hung heavy in the air, a void where words dared not tread. In the suffocating silence, the relentless ticking of the wall clock echoed like a heartbeat, while the soft, haunting drip of water from his sleeves punctuated the stillness, each drop a reminder of the weight of time and despair. His hand, a whisper of warmth, slipped beneath the blanket, seeking out mine in a moment charged with unspoken tension. Fingers falter, caught in a relentless struggle. Without a doubt, yes. I remained steadfast, anchored in that very spot. "You're quaking," he whispered, his voice a haunting echo in the stillness. "It's nothing," I retorted, my voice laced with defiance. His thumb surged across my knuckles, igniting a tempest of sensations within me. "Your silence has been deafening lately." I cast a fleeting glance, and there he stood, his gaze fixed upon me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. Neither a son nor a mere caretaker, but a commanding force, a true master of the realm. "If this feels wrong," he whispered, his voice trembling with uncertainty, "just tell me to stop." I raised my voice, but an oppressive silence enveloped the air. With a sudden surge of impulse, I found myself leaning forward, my mind struggling to catch up with the whirlwind of my actions. Then he kissed me, with a ferocity that echoed the chaos of a tempest ready to ravage the shores. His hands enveloped my face, a tender yet electrifying embrace that sent shivers down my spine. My fingers clutched his damp shirt with an intensity that spoke of desperation. His heat surged against me, a force of nature that ignited the very air around us. A tempest of tension and quivering breaths hangs in the air. I should have intervened before it spiraled into chaos. In that fateful moment, I should have retreated, sensing the storm brewing ahead. Yet, I refrained. I met his lips with fervor, matching his passion in a moment that felt electric. It was as if time itself had come to a standstill, stretching endlessly as I awaited that fateful moment, and in an instant it struck me with the force of 1,000 storms. In that kiss, a world of ecstasy unfolded. Alas, there is no wheelchair to be found. With unwavering resolve, I shall embark upon this task. Utterly exhilarating. A desperate yearning consumes me, and the brutal, breathtaking reality crashed upon me like a tempest. The veil of numbness had finally lifted, and I felt every pulse of emotion surge through me like a tempest unleashed. Silence enveloped the air, heavy and suffocating, as no words dared to break the stillness that followed. At first, the answer was a resounding no. In the stillness of the room, the weight of the silence was palpable, shattered only by the rhythmic rise and fall of our breath. Our foreheads met in a moment suspended in time. I clutched his shirt tightly, my heart racing with the terror that letting go would shatter the fragile world we had woven together. In that moment, he drew back just enough to lock eyes with me, a silent storm brewing between us. "Gaze upon me, if you dare," he began with a whisper, his voice barely breaking the silence. "You are not the one who truly gave me life." In that fleeting moment, I blinked, as if the world around me held its breath, suspended in time. A chilling sensation gripped my stomach, sending it plummeting into an abyss of dread. I have always been aware, deep within the shadows of my mind, where the truth lurks like a specter waiting to be unveiled. He uttered, his voice cutting through the thick veil of my rising dread. It was a haunting silence, a shadow lurking in the corners of every conversation, an unspoken truth that lingered like a ghost. No one ever dared to mention it, yet, I unraveled the enigma long ago. It was a secret left unspoken, a shadow lurking in the silence between us. "It was never a necessity for you." I parted my lips, ready to unleash the tempest within. Yet, an oppressive silence enveloped the air, thick and suffocating. "It alters nothing in the grand tapestry of fate," he fired a retort, sharp and unyielding. "This is not for me." This was not mere confusion, I assure you, this was power incarnate. My lips met yours not from a place of solitude or uncertainty. He exhaled, his fingers brushing against my cheek with an electrifying tenderness. "I kissed you, a culmination of a love that has endured through the ages, a passion that has burned in the depths of my soul for eternity. Not with the warmth of a mother's embrace. As my beacon of hope, the singular soul who ignited within me a sense of profound importance." My throat tightened, a vice of dread closing in around me. From the very depths of my soul, I harbored a haunting truth: he was never truly of my lineage. The moment those words pierced the air, resonating with a calm clarity, an undeniable transformation ignited deep within my soul. It was as if the very ground we stood upon had shifted, teetering on the brink of chaos. I stood resolutely as his mother. The world, in all its vastness, bore witness to our undeniable truth. Yet, the bloodlines that once loomed like impenetrable walls, now burst forth, transforming into grand portals of possibility. I ought to have tasted the sweet nectar of freedom, yet all that consumed me was an even more suffocating weight of guilt. Ah, love! A force so profound, yet it weaves through the heart with an undercurrent of shame, casting shadows even on the most sincere affections. What are we destined to become? I breathed my words into the silence. It anchors us in the truth of our existence. He fired a retort, sharp and unyielding. Perhaps, in the depths of uncertainty, that haunting notion held a flicker of truth. In truth, I have come to the harrowing realization that the pursuit of knowledge did not unravel the complexities of life, but rather, it ensnared me deeper in its intricate web. They emerged as an undeniable force, impossible to ignore. It lay beyond the confines of the bedroom. It all unfolded in the living room, on that very couch where I often surrendered to the embrace of leisure. It was here, in this sacred place, where I embarked on the arduous journey of rediscovering my steps, with just a whisper of support guiding me through the shadows of uncertainty. In that haunting moment, I poured my sorrows into the soft embrace of the cushions, convinced that the world around me was deaf to my anguish. He has just completed the arduous task of cleaning up after dinner, the remnants of the feast now a distant memory. Enveloped in the cocoon of a blanket, I pretended to immerse myself in the pages of a book. The atmosphere was electric, thick with tension and laden with the weight of unsaid confessions, enveloping us in a shroud of anticipation throughout the night. As he sat beside me, our knees collided in a fleeting moment, igniting an electric tension that hung in the air. We remained steadfast, unmoving in the face of the storm. He turned to me, his movements deliberate and laden with an unspoken weight. Our hands brushed against each other, a fleeting whisper of connection in the vast silence that surrounded us. In that electrifying moment, our gazes collided, and a revelation surged through me like a tempest. As vivid as the blazing sun in the sky, yet, the yearning burns fiercely. Illumination pierces the darkness. My eyes were riveted to it, as if the very essence of my being was tethered to its presence. His lips collided with mine in a whirlwind of passion before I could even comprehend the moment. This time, the air crackled with intensity, devoid of any trace of gentleness. Cast aside the languid assent. Exactly what you crave. After an eternity shrouded in silence, a sound so pure and authentic shattered the stillness, echoing through the void. Our breaths danced together, a haunting melody of intimacy. I seized his shoulders, pulling him close, as if the very fabric of our fates intertwined in that moment. His body radiated warmth, a formidable presence that was undeniably tangible. In the stillness, an oppressive hush enveloped the air, as if the world itself held its breath, waiting for the inevitable storm to break. There is no necessity to proceed. Our bodies laid bare the truths our lips trembled to utter. As the final curtain fell, he remained, a solitary figure in the aftermath of chaos. He left his shirt behind, a silent testament to the chaos that unfolded, offering no words to unravel the mystery of his departure. He lay beside me, our fingers woven together in a silent promise. Our chests heaved in a synchronized dance, a rhythm of breath that echoed the intensity of the moment. I stared at the ceiling, my breath caught in my throat. At long last, after an eternity of searching, I discovered the elusive sensation of being truly complete. A surge of power coursed through my veins. A surge of longing enveloped me, igniting a fire within that I could scarcely contain. Indispensable. In the tumultuous wake of destruction, guilt eluded every corner, a phantom in the shadows. A profound, relentless hum reverberates through my very being, coursing beneath my skin like a haunting melody of fate. A warmth that clings to the soul, haunting the shadows long after the last flicker of the flames has vanished into the night. The dawn broke, but I found myself paralyzed by the weight of the night before, unable to confront him. I swept through the kitchen, a shadow of intent, an embodiment of resolve, an enigma beyond reach. I meticulously arranged the table, the rich aroma of coffee swirling in the air, and engaged in light conversation, all while a storm of tension brewed beneath the surface, as if the world around us remained blissfully unaware of the impending chaos. My hands trembled with an intensity that felt almost electric as I extended the butter towards him. My deepest gratitude, I exclaimed in haste as he thrust the plate into my hands. For the third time, he uttered those words, his voice barely above a whisper, laden with an unspoken weight. I forced a grin, masking the tempest within. In this moment, I find myself overwhelmed with gratitude. He lingered in silence, weighing his words with the gravity of 1,000 unspoken thoughts, gazed upon me from the other side of the table, a silent observer in the unfolding drama. Gaze shrouded in enigma. Do you long for a moment unmade? At long last, he summoned the courage to ask. I stood paralyzed, as if time itself had conspired to hold me captive. The knife in my hand loomed ominously above the toast, a silent harbinger of the impending fate that awaited it. In a hushed whisper, I confessed, I have no idea. Oh, how I long for a world where this desperate yearning does not consume me. He nodded, each movement heavy with intention, as if the very weight of the world rested upon his head. Is it truly real? Silence reigns supreme. Absolutely not. I claimed it as my own. Absolutely not. He leaned in, his voice a powerful force, unwavering and resolute. What transpired under the cloak of darkness last night? There is no room for shame in this realm. My throat tightened, a vice of panic closing in around me. Destiny awaits you. Only a single day. Absolutely not, he proclaimed with unwavering conviction. Absolutely not. Yet, you shall. That is the true agony. As I lifted my gaze, our eyes collided in a moment charged with unspoken intensity. In the depths of his gaze, a tempest of emotions swirled, revealing the secrets of his soul. In a world where shadows loom, the heart beats with a fierce defiance, igniting a flicker of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Yet, lurking beneath the surface, fear whispers its chilling tales, while passion burns brightly, a relentless flame that refuses to be extinguished. It fractured the very essence of my being. Once more, the stage is set, the air thick with anticipation. What fate awaits us in the shadows of uncertainty? I demanded answers. Indeed, he proclaimed with fervor. Perhaps it cuts a little too deep into the fabric of reality. In the bustling aisles of the grocery store, whispers of admiration surround me, as people dare to label me as brave. Behold the force of nature, they cry out in awe. Utterly devoted. That boy of yours is truly fortunate to have you as his mother, a beacon of strength and love in his life. A smile spreads across my face, a glimmer of mischief dancing in my eyes. I nod, a silent agreement echoing in the depths of my soul. Forever indebted to them. Then I journey back to the young man who has transcended the innocence of boyhood. Forever out of reach, never truly mine. Not by blood, but by the fierce bonds that tie us together in the shadows of fate, not in the way the world perceives it. In the heart of our home, we conjure a feast together, the air thick with anticipation and the promise of flavors yet to unfold. Conquer that mountain of laundry, quench the thirst of the plants. We exist in a tranquil facade, shrouded in the shadows of our closed curtains and the masks of our friendly smiles. In the fleeting moments that hang in the air, the charged glances exchanged across the table, our hands barely grazing one another, a profound truth lingers, there is something more, something electric, waiting to ignite. A shadow that lingers between us, an unspoken truth we dare not utter. All believe they grasp the essence of our tale. They most certainly do not. They behold the unwavering vow. They bear witness to the harrowing act of sacrifice. They long for the haunting embrace of the nights. Silence envelopes the air, a stillness that hangs heavy with unspoken words and untold stories. The inferno we concealed beneath the weight of obligation and the veil of ignorance. We are aware, perhaps that is the very essence of our desires. When he seizes my hand in the open air, it serves as an unwavering testament. I stand amidst a sea of shadows, yet I am not alone. What we possess is a bond forged in the fires of our connection. Is there anything more you desire from the depths of the store? What is the tempest that stirs within your soul? He inquires as we make our way to the car, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. Absolutely not, I murmur softly, my fingers weaving through his with an intensity that ignites the air around us. I possess everything I could ever desire. If this tale has kindled a fire within your soul, seize it with fervor, plunge into the depths and uncover the mysteries that await. Embrace the moment. If it has the power to transform your perception of love, even if just for an ephemeral heartbeat, seize the moment and subscribe now. More tales await, ready to unfold in the shadows of my mind. Some secrets linger in the shadows, yearning to be unleashed upon the world.